Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see self-reference trigger exception due to roll-up summary field in Salesforce. Self-reference trigger exception happens in Salesforce due to roll-up summary field because as per the order of execution, if a parent record is getting updated and if it contains a roll-up summary field, the parent record goes through the save procedure. So because of this, the trigger will be called again. Before the trigger calls, if there was if there was a previous save procedure which was pending, then it will throw that self-reference trigger exception due to roll-up summary field. Let's see this with an example. On the account object, I have a trigger. I have used both before update and after update events. In the after update, I'm just having inside after system.debug statement, but inside trigger.is before, I am having a system.debug statement called inside before, and after that I'm checking whether the ID is not equal to this particular ID. Why I'm checking this is I'm updating the opportunity of the account which is getting updated with this hard-coded ID. This is just an example to reproduce the issue, so I have hard-coded the ID values. So I'm making sure again it is not going into recursion, so that's the reason I'm using not equal to, because when the opportunity is updated, the account trigger will be called for the parent record. So again this will call and it will go into recursive depth, so I don't want to do that. So that's the reason I'm using not equal to operator of this particular account, because when this opportunity is updated, this account trigger will again execute. I just wanted to see these two statements, not these. Okay, so now when this account is updated, for example, if I am updating an account called test1, it will find one opportunity from that particular account test1. It will update the stage name to qualification, and then it will update the account ID to a different ID. Now what will happen is this account trigger for this account will be called two times. First time for changing the account ID, so reparenting. So for reparenting it will call, and the next one is it will again call the same account trigger for the same account for roll up recalculation, because the opportunity is updated. So the parent record has a roll up summary field. If the record contains a roll up summary field and R is part of cross object, it will again it will again go through the save procedure. So now because of that, one more time the account trigger will be called for this account, and next so three times so far account trigger is called. So the last time when it will be called is for the account for which we did the update, for example the test1 account. So that is the account from which this opportunity was updated and its related account triggers were called, and now it will try to do the save procedure because it has roll up summary field. So because of that it will throw an exception saying that you cannot update it because it was already in that trigger. So let's see that. So this is an account record test1. I have two opportunities. It will pick this opportunity, so I'm just clicking edit. So once I click save, it will call this, and next it will update the opportunity. So two times account trigger will be called for this account. The account name for this hard-coded account ID is test2. So we are going to see that, and this is the roll-up summary field, opportunity count, and roll-up summary field on opportunity object, and then I'm using count. So now let's see that. I'm just updating it. I'm getting self-reference from trigger exception because of this account ID. So this is the account ID from which I started the transaction. So let's see that. So if you look at the debug log, account is test1, which got updated. I'm inside before. Account is now test2 inside before. These two statements are coming since it got reparented. Now account is test2 inside. Account is test2 inside again account dot test2 before. So the first time it got it got the called the trigger because the parenting was reparented from test1 account to test2 account, and now again it called the trigger because we are um, doing the roll up summary field on the account test2. Okay, so now if you see account test1, we have only inside before, not inside after, because once the trigger got executed and once the um, triggers for this account ID is also updated, now it has to do the roll up summary field for the account for which the transaction got started. It cannot do because already the account update is happening in before update context. So I'm inside trigger.is before. So if since the transaction is not yet committed to the database, it cannot do the save procedure again. So that's the reason it is throwing this exception. So I had an account called test1. I had an opportunity called test1, but it's okay. I'm giving the name as opportunity 1 here. So for this opportunity 1, I'm updating the account to test2 in before update context. Account trigger is called due to opportunity account change, and next account trigger is again called for the roll-up summary field for the test2 account. Now for the roll-up summary field for the test1 account calls the save procedure and then it throws an exception. If you look at the executable, it started here with the account, it fetched the opportunity, it updated the stage name, and now external workflow opportunity is called. So this is nothing but reparenting happened, so the account trigger was again called for the test2 account. Here workflow on the account for the test2 account for roll up summary field. So account trigger is again called for the test2, and finally when it tried to do the roll up summary field for the account test1, it started here and then it finished here and then it immediately threw an exception because it is already in before update context, so it cannot do the save procedure again, so it threw that exception. So this is the simple flow, and because of this it threw an exception. I hope it was helpful. Thank you for watching.